returns of a standard SIP versus the STIP, which is the strategic index investing that we do, versus the incremental STIP. Okay, so 3 different stages. My name is Arpit Arora. I'm India's leading personal finance expert and passive income coach, and I'm on that quest to change the middle class of India and transform their financial life in such a way that they are able to have the potential to follow their passion. They have the focus to follow their passion. They are not distracted by money because they're creating enough passive income, and most importantly, they're able to live with inner peace and joy. And that, my friends, happens by winning the game of money. That happens when you upgrade your financial IQ, and that most importantly happens when you are committed to achieve financial freedom in your life, because it cannot happen without a commitment. And it is my commitment to make sure you get all the support that you need to walk and achieve that destination. Abhi tak I've only shared with you SIP versus STIP, where I said, normal SIP, or rather mutual funds versus index SIP versus STIP. हमने ये comparison किया है. But अब हम बात करेंगे, let's say कि आप ये सब index में ही कर रहे हो. Given, let's change it and say index में ही आप कर रहे हो standard SIP versus STIP versus incremental STIP. So what is that? How does it affect you? Let's get started with it. I'm going to take you on my screen and we're going to do this together. Can you all see my screen, by the way, everyone? If you can, let me know, then I'll proceed. So let's say someone does an SIP of 30,000 rupees every month and they are planning to invest for their child. Okay. What is the period? So at least 20 years for their children on an average. So 240 months. And we know that the last 20 years has given a return of 15 to 16%, the indexes themselves. So let's say in the standard SIP, they make 15% returns. If they compound monthly, what is the return they're going to get? So they invested 72 lakhs and 4.54 crores is what they're going to make out of it, which is a great return, right? This is what? This is standard SIP into indexes. Had someone done that, ठीक है? अभी मैं थोड़े exaggerated numbers लेके चलूँगा. It might not be कि वही exact numbers आए. But let's say someone does STIP now. So doing the STIP would mean 2 to 3% more returns than that. So let's say on the best case, someone makes 3% more returns than that over this same period, SIP. Okay. So rather than investing on the first of every month, they invest tactically on a strategic tactical point in the month, which you all are doing. Then they don't just invest in one ETF, they choose whichever ETF is the cheapest. Then whenever an arbitrage opportunity comes, they invest in the arbitrage opportunity too. And if there comes a time to exit out of their indexes, go into debt and invest back into the indexes when the market has fallen, like we did in 2021 and 22, you do that too. All of that, let's say, gives you 3% extra over these 20 years. If you hit calculate, you will see this 4.5 crore now turning into 7 crore rupees. Same investment, just 3% extra returns gives you 7 crores as a maturity value. That's almost 80% extra. Right? Now, this is fascinating, but I'm going to take you on the next level. Now I'm going to take you to a calculator where you invest 30,000 every month, but every year you invest 10% extra. Why? Because 10% is the rate of inflation that we take for us, right? Are you all with me so far? Why am I taking 10%? Because 10% तो हम कह रहे हैं हमारा inflation ही है. So if I keep on investing 30,000, then I am doing something wrong because 10% of my 30,000 inflation is eating away. I need to keep up my investments as per the inflation, which we are taking as a standard. Is everyone clear why 10% is taken? It's clear, right? 10% तो हमारा inflation ही है. which means every year at least 10% we should add more to our investments. So if we, rather than doing a standard SIP, we do an annual step-up SIP. Instead of getting 7 crores that you got here, your answer actually becomes 11 crore rupees. Another 4 crores over and on top of it. So if you compare the standard SIP of 15% versus the step-up STIP, your 4.5 crores is actually 11 crores. Yes, your investment has also gone up, but you would have lost the strategy in the whole process. So every time you make a strategic shift in the style of your investing, 3-4 crores in the maturity of your money is what is added. Isn't that crazy? Simply adding 10% to your SIPs every year can give you this benefit. There is an even more strategic way to do it. Would you like to know? इससे भी ज़्यादा एक strong method है, which you can use to increase your returns. Okay, so one method is that every year, 1st of January comes, you increase your SIP. That's one way of doing it. Another method is that, and this is something that I personally use, every major market crash, I increase my SIP by the number of years since I have increased my SIP from. So in other simpler words, if 1 lakh rupees was my SIP 2 years ago, and I did not increase my SIP because the markets were going up. Every month happened, I did not increase my SIP, just kept on doing 1 lakh. But when I went through a major market crash, I increased my SIP at this point equivalent to the 2 years that I did not invest. So which means 1 lakh pay 10%, 1 lakh 10,000, 1 lakh 10,000 pay 10%, 1 lakh 21,000. So now my SIP, rather than 1 to 1.10 to 1.21, will directly move from 1.1 lakh to 1.21, and I will only do it when the market crash happens. So when the market has already corrected, let's say 15%, that's obviously a subjective time. What is a crash? What is the bottom? But I would say, let's say 15-20% market ke girne pe, या 15% ke girne pe, or where I feel ki the market is at under its fair valuation, चाहे 15% गिरी हो, चाहे 20% गिरी हो. Like times like these, market fell 15%, but we feel it's at great valuation. Even then, I will increase my SIPs to the same percentage, which I should have. Rather than incrementally doing it every year, I move from crash to crash. And whatever gap of time was there between one crash to another, I add that money into my SIP. So my 1 lakh will now be 1,21,000 in this crash. And now I'll wait till the next crash. So rather than doing every year on a calendar, I used valuation as a matrix to increase my SIP. Then my returns will further increase because I'm not investing extra when the market is going up. I'm only investing extra when the market is down. So that is another method that one can use. This again exponentially will give you maybe 1% or more in alpha. So SIPs, if you do standard way, you will in the future, and I'm telling you this again, my research team says this to me every now and then. They say if the markets have given a 15, like Nifty has given a 15% return in the past, it should give a lesser return in the future because more people are doing it. When more people do the same thing, the lucrativeness of the return of that instrument naturally goes down. The markets will be more choppier in the future, or the markets will have more wilder swings in the future. And the returns of those will theoretically should decrease because that is what happens if like arbitrage. If everyone tries to do arbitrage, opportunities go zero. So can we use this strategy in a time like this? Surely can, right? So at least 10% now. We don't have the luxury of 2 years back, but can we add 10% to our SIPs in this crash? Whatever percentage you can. Either you go from this date, from whenever you increase your SIP to next year, again this date, or what else can you do? You wait until the next major crash. And obviously we will tell you that this is a major crash and invest. And then you can again increase your SIP. So that if the market still will give 12%, you will still make 15% or more by smartly investing. So just standard SIPs will not help you to achieve your goals. You have to be smarter than the rest of the market. That is the only way. And even if it does help you to achieve your goals, why not achieve them faster? Makes sense, doesn't it? So that's the whole idea.